So I just want to do a short video on standing posture, Wu Qi, and standing Qigong is a practice in itself. Then if you're going to do standing Qigong, it's worth getting some of the basics in place. So in the centre of each foot, just behind the ball of each foot, is the bubbling spring point. So we first of all want to balance on the bubbling spring. We want our feet to be parallel as if they're on train tracks. So imagine you've got long skis on, and if they're even slightly off, the skis are going to cross or part company. So really nice parallel feet. Right underneath your hips, right underneath your hip bone, so they can support the weight of the body. And not gripping the floor, so the toes want to be relaxed on the floor, the weight not in the heels but evenly across the feet. So finding your point of balance. Go further forwards if you need to, or further back, but find the place where you're really balancing over bubbling spring as if it's plugging down into the earth. And really feel that. So a point, the bubbling spring point, it's like it's got a circle and it goes into a deep well of a point inside the foot energetically. So imagine that energy plugging into the earth energy, some connection being made there. Relaxed toes spreading out across the floor. Soften the tops of your feet. Let the ankles be soft, not gripping, and the knees are slightly bent. The knees don't want to fall in, they don't want to fall out. They want to be roughly over the tops of your feet. And imagine a space holder if you need one between the knees, or imagine the knees pushing ever so slightly outwards. Just look and check if you're not sure. The qua, which is where the legs join the body, this energy gate here, think of it as a lock gate. So if it's clamped shut, energy can't travel between the top and the body, the top and the bottom of the body. So this needs to feel open, and it's really done with a thought rather than an actual doing of anything. Just imagine that being open and there being even connection between the legs and the body. The sacrum needs to be hanging down towards the earth. So this triangular bone here, fused bits of the spine, needs to hang down towards the earth. So this is it, not hanging towards the earth, and then here it goes hanging downwards. So it's like this tilts ever so slightly, allowing it to drop like a pendulum towards the earth. So sacrum hanging down. In doing that, you'll find the very front part of your belly becomes a bit stronger and works a little bit harder, which is good. A slight lift in the pelvic floor. And we think of this bowl in the pelvis, which is a bowl of vital essence, your jing, your life force that makes you you, and it lasts you from the day you're born until you croak. So that's really precious. So we look after this bowl. We don't tense around it, but we're strong around it. And we imagine, if you imagine that this is the bowl of an oil lamp, so this is containing the vital essence or the oil, and there's a wick that rises up through the centre of the body and it stops about 3 finger widths below the belly button, in the middle between front and back. And that point there, the centre of your body, is your dantian. So if you imagine the oil just drawing slightly up that wick to find this flame, this point called your dantian. And I think of it a little bit like a pilot light of a boiler. Again, while the lights are light, you're all good. The boiler's working, the body's working. And that's how we like it to stay. So just visualising that, finding that balance for your belly. And then the spine from the sacrum coming upwards rises up through the body in its own gentle curve. So although we want the sacrum to hang downwards, we don't want to flatten out the rest of the spine. Rib cage coming off the spine at the back, attaching to the breastbone at the front. Feel it like a sprung cage, really flexible, really energised, really free. The shoulder girdle, so the shoulder blades and the collarbone, just again hanging off the spine, and the arms loose and limp from the shoulder girdle, and the head balanced like a piece of stone balancing art on top of the spine. So just wherever's easy. Quite often we brace it backwards, sticking the chin out. Just let the chin tuck slightly, see if that feels easier. Allow the back of the skull to be free and find your own balance. So stacking the body in the easiest possible way for your skeleton to support you. Not completely relaxed, because we would be in a puddle on the floor, but with mindful of where we maybe are lazy with our posture. So the knees are not falling inwards. The pelvic floor is ever so slightly lifted. There's a lot going on in the belly. It's not a loose lump. It's got your bowl of vital essence. There is nothing more important in your body. Ribs free and easy to breathe. Head balanced on top of the spine. And this is standing posture, the most simple of the standing postures, and arguably the most useful. So standing and taking a breath. Notice anything there is to notice right now in your body, right in the present moment. How does it feel? If it's uncomfortable, can you soften? If you can feel energy moving, just notice. It's just interesting. And when you're ready, you just move off the spot and have a shake. Have fun with that one.